Sampson here with Tim Priester. After day one of the Rivals 100 Five-Star Challenge presented by Under Armour over at Soldier Field, we got to check out 4 Notre Dame commitments, probably about 4 dozen other Notre Dame prospects. But let's just start with the 4 commitments because I think they all kind of came in here with their own storylines. We wanted to find out different things about each one of them. So I guess of the 4, who impressed you the most?
I think 2 stood out. I think Alex Bars definitely held his own. He went one-on-one with Lorenzo Carter and definitely won that competition. And certainly Justin Brent did nothing to hurt his accolades and is moving up. I mean, I thought the kid, and there are a bunch of good receivers, and I thought he represented himself really well.
Yeah, man, I thought Sam Mustafer was okay. He's kind of outside the top 100, but in the 250 4-star guard. I thought that's kind of what he looked like today, and you saw him go against Derek Nandi, who's I don't know if he's a 5-star guy, but he certainly looked like one today at moments. Just a bull of a defensive tackle, and he's a guy that Mustafer's gone up against before, and he held his own here or there. They're rolling around the ground a little bit, but I mean that's what offensive guards do in these competitions. And then Elijah Hood. In terms of the running back position, there is no position here more talented per man than running back, and I thought he had a nice day, but it's like when you're measured against Joe Mixon, who was outstanding today, it's tough to really make a name for yourself at that spot.
Well, and Sony Michel. I mean, I think those 2 guys definitely excel in a 7-on-7 situation. Talking about guys that Notre Dame's recruiting, I thought Josh Malone really stood out today. He's long, he really pushes it upfield and puts pressure on the DB right off the snap of the football. I was very impressed with him today.
I like Adoree Jackson. He's listed as I think more, or perceived to be more of a corner. Notre Dame likes him at receiver. I thought he glides across the field. I mean, it's weird to look at him because he's kind of a long strider, but he's a short guy. But he just glides, but he's got explosive ability, very sudden. I liked him a lot. I thought Micaiah Quick was pretty good today too. He played a little bit on both sides of the ball. Other guys that jumped out in terms of, I watched Alan Lazard for a while today, visiting Notre Dame tomorrow at this point. I thought he was good. I think there were some questions about whether he was almost too big and could he have changed of direction? Was he going to be agile for that size? And I thought the answer was yes. So I thought he did a good job today, and I think he's certainly a top 100 type player.
I thought he looked explosive. He had a couple drops, but I mean, over the course of a 5-hour day on the field, that's going to happen. But I thought he looked explosive, and you look to see how's a guy going to handle when he gets pressed at the line of scrimmage. Alan Lazard represented himself very well. I don't think he did anything that would warrant him dropping from the #1 spot at receiver.
In terms of an underclassman that I think we were intrigued to see, Jack Beneventi. He was an alternate quarterback. Clearly the 6th of the 6 quarterbacks today has a lot of room for improvement. A little mechanical in his footwork and his throwing motion. He had stretches today where he got more comfortable, where there was a little bit more zip, a little bit of a tighter spiral. But for large stretches today, either he was uncomfortable, their ball was fluttering. It was a huge step up in competition for him, and I thought that it showed.
Yeah, a little over his head, I think, today, and the throwing motion is a little stiff. Now, the Rosen kid,
from California, he was very intriguing.
He threw the ball very, very well. Notre Dame fans were disappointed when they lost Kyle Allen to Texas A&M, and for good reason.
Yeah,
I mean, I think he has the it factor. I think he needs to get stronger, certainly, but he has a presence on the field. Deshaun Watson.
Barker, I thought, showed some good things today.
I thought those guys,
nice compact throwing motion. So I think the quarterbacks overall, especially the 4 seniors, I thought all showed some things. And certainly it's a learning experience for somebody like Beneventi, which is the point of coming to these if you're a 2015 kid. And certainly he's going to come away with a lot of things where he feels like, hey, I can get better here. This is where I need to take my game moving into my junior year.
Other kids that stood out, I mean, for me, Demetrius Knox, I think Notre Dame is definitely on the outside looking in for him, but that's a guy that was very impressive. Who else comes to mind for you?
I guess in terms of the receivers, I watched City blackball a little bit today. He was good. Overall, I thought it was a very talented group of receivers.
Really good, really good.
But I think it spoke well to Justin Brent that he fit into that group. Yeah. It didn't seem like a guy that, is this guy good enough? Does he belong? I thought absolutely did. He showed that today.
He looked like he felt very comfortable out there. Great upper body strength, used it to his advantage. right up until the very end when they were doing 7-on-7s.
All right, well, that's it for our day one incident analysis from the Rivals 5-Star Challenge presented by Under Armour. We'll come back tomorrow after the final day of the event. It's all 7-on-7s tomorrow, so you get to see a little bit more of a competitive edge, and you can look for all the coverage of that on irishillustrated.com.
Could be a little rain tomorrow.
Yeah.